Hello, good morning, and welcome to this very early morning overnight taste challenge. I've been known to be up 1:30, 2:33 in the morning. Okay, so that's a common thing for me. Here is Hartley V.S.O.P. introduced in 1943. Now, I have found Hartley V.S. before. I wouldn't recommend that one. And I have found Hartley, just Hartley brandy. It didn't have any class designation on it. That one was questionable. But now all I ever see around is Hartley V.S.O.P. Okay. Now I saw an old photo on Google search or Bing or Yahoo, whatever, but it was Hartley Bottle and Bond, but I don't think that's made anymore. Hartley Bottle and Bond. Anyway, you say Bottle and Bond brandy? Yeah, Heaven Hill still makes one. It's called Sacred Bond. Christian Brothers Sacred Bond Bottled and Bond brandy. And you can find it, and it's a little bit more expensive, but it's a whole lot better. All right, here's Hervé. Also V.S.O.P. Very smooth old pale, which usually means age 2 to 4 years, but that's not a law. That's just what they call a convention, something that companies do. But there's no legal requirement that V.S., V.S.O.P., and XO are aged, but they should be. I mean, if everybody's doing it that way, V.S. should be 2 to 4 years. V.S.O.P. should be 4 to 6 years aged in oak, and XO should be 6 to 10 years. But like I said, it's not a law, so it could just be sticking a name on there. All right, are the letters. A serious cognac company is not going to do that. They're going to be strict about it. Okay, they're both 40% alcohol. They're both brandies with natural flavors and caramel color, which doesn't mean much because if you read the regulations, brandy, American brandy, can have caramel color added for coloring, and it can have natural flavors added. And they don't even have to put it on the bottle, on the label. They can keep it a secret. So at least Sazerac, who owns both of these brands, at least they are good about disclosure. I mean, I've noticed that if they put in flavor in something, they'll just tell you, they'll just do it, say it. This thing is smudged. I'm going to go get put some water on that. This one's not, because this is a new bottle. This one, maybe a little dust or something got on it. Okay, now keep my stuff. I just dusted all these bottles. I'm going to turn the lamps on in a moment. Don't worry. Hervé, it's a French word. I did some research on it. It's a French word. It means, it's the French version of Harvey. So yeah, it's a brandy named Harvey in it. But the term means battle ready. Battle ready. Can you believe that? All right. So bought both of these in Louisiana. One is common. Hartley, everybody sells that. Well, not Walmart, but it's at Total Wine and More. When they choose to carry it, it's at Winn-Dixie. Always at Rouse's. And most of your independent liquor stores will carry it. Okay. So it's got a following here. Hervé found that at Hocus Pocus Liquors in Prairieville, Louisiana, but I don't know where else to find it. And both of these come in the big bottles, the big handle, the jug bottles, same shape, but glass. So they don't do plastic. You won't find Hervé in plastic or Hartley in plastic. Let's do a screen share to show some liquor stores. There's no website for either one of these. Okay, Hartley, introduced in 1943. 1943. And it was owned by Barton. That's who introduced it. But Barton is owned by Sazerac today. And it has an Italian flag on there because it is made with imported brandy, namely Italian. Some of the bottles will say made with Italian brandy. But anyway, then they add the flavoring and caramel, I'm sure. Now, I don't know what Italian brandy they're using. And furthermore, well, I do know that Sazerac bought a brandy called Tuaca, which is a brandy liqueur. Tuaca is pretty popular. $8.99. Yep, that's what I paid at Winn-Dixie. $8.99 on sale this month. They don't have it. They don't have it here in Metairie, but they have it in Kansas. Well, that doesn't matter because, like I say, Winn-Dixie, Rouse's, they've got it. About it. Italy, rich buttery cake fragrance leads you to a smooth array of fruits on the palate. Vanilla coats the tongue with hints of oil, Asian pear, and apricots that end with a clean, crisp finish. Okay. Fruity snacks, dried fruit, and smoked pork. And the ratings, 68. That's bad. So they're giving it a D, saying this stuff's bad. It gets it gets 7 good scores, and it gets 4 terrible scores, which I'm sure drug it down bad. So yeah, oh well. And what do you expect? $8.99, but that's how they score it. So Total Wine itself is telling you it's a D because they don't tamper with the score. All right, Hervé Superior Reserve V.S.O.P brandy. The bottle looks like. Same thing. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits in Florida. I'd have to drive 3 hours to the closest ABC, minimum of 3 hours, because Pensacola would be the closest town. $8.99. So that's your current price these days. Sweet aromas with raisins and other dried fruits, honey and vanilla. Initial sweetness with a finish. Very similar. What they're saying, very similar to Hartley. Maybe very, very similar. If you get what I'm getting to, or what I'm implying, they're from the same company and they're bottled at the same place. Except, well, but they don't say the same thing. This one's using imported brandy, Italian brandy. This one makes no claim to that. And if they were using that, it seemed like they would make a claim to that. They're trying to make it sound like French brandy, though, with Hervé, and they're making it designed almost like a chain mail. You can feel it. It's tactile. It feels like chain mail, like on a knight's armor, All right, kind of make it look like medieval type of thing. Sound like the Kansas City Southern's coming on through or approaching. Yep. I think they're eastbound. Usually they're eastbound in the morning, westbound at night. Don't know why that is, but that's what I've noticed over the years. Okay. So the appearance, well, they're not the same shade. They're close in appearance, but this one, which I don't know what it is because I've already mixed them up, is a little darker. This one's a little lighter. So no, not identical, but very nearly identical, you see. All right. I probably won't be able to tell them apart, but I bet you I won't get Hartley, because this is a revisit. I've done this years ago, but I bet you I will not get Hartley mixed up with any of the other brandies and cognac brandies that I've got. I just don't see it happening. It's got too much of a unusual flavor. Now, my friend David tried it last week and he liked it. But of course, he had been exposed to a lot of beer before that. And the Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout at 15.5% alcohol. So that might have influenced, what I mean, if you're that far into the tastings and it's Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout, that could influence your appreciation of it if and it would probably be favorable. If you went into it cold, you may not think it is as good. But he wanted to try it. I thought he poured too much, but I was like, it's not a beer. Okay, but can't control those people. One thing I noticed about Hartley is there's a lot of grape skins and grape leaves in the nose. Now, I don't think they're adding grape leaves, but it sure has that. If you ever go to the Greek festival and they have the stuffed grape leaves, they stuff them like, I guess, lamb meat. And you would think, oh, that would be terrible, right? And that's not terrible. It's actually a good, it's expensive. The Greek festival, they raise the money for the cathedral, so everything's going to be sky high over there. You're just making a donation is what you're doing. You get to see nice dancing from the Hellenic dancers and hear music and eat Greek food. But it's the money. It's not you're getting a value. You're just donating to the cathedral. Okay. Greek Orthodox Cathedral, obviously. All right. So there's a little butterscotch or vanilla or rum cake or drizzled, whatever they're talking about on their description, but it's not too much of that. So they might be adding flavoring, but it's just a little bit, just a little tiny bit of flavoring to tweak it. I'm thinking, because I'm getting a lot, maybe the mask, the grape skin, and the leafy quality, make it a little less harsh. So brandy, remember, is basically whiskey made from, you say, oh, no, whiskey is brandy made from grain. Okay. Either way, it's the same principle, but one is grape based or other fruit. You can make strawberry brandy, apple brandy, but the most common is grape. With whiskey, they make beer first, but with no hops in it. It's just the beer, and then they ferment they distill the beer into whiskey. Brandy, they make a wine first. Usually white grapes are used in brandy, and then the wine is distilled into brandy. That's why a lot of wine companies make brandy. They already got the wine. Corbel already has wine, sparkling wine, right? Champagne. E&J Gallo already has wine. So they just go to the next step, make brandy. You say, well, what about Ciroc? They make vodka. Why do they make a brandy? Well, they make grape vodka. See what I mean? No, man. So Ciroc's already got the grapes. They're making vodka with it. That's an unusual type of vodka. But they just take the next step and go, boom, into brandy, which they've never expanded off the VS. All they do is use a VS brandy, a cell of VS brandy. Very smooth. People say it stands for, probably really stands for very standard. It's only aged 2 years, maybe 4 at the most, but usually like 2. I don't know why Ciroc never made a V.S.O.P or an XO. They just don't. All right. This one's got a little bit more of that flavoring thing going on. That vanilla or butterscotch. And then honestly, it tastes like grape soda a little bit. And I just did a boiling grape soda mix up yesterday. They haven't been posted, but I took different vodkas and I did the grape soda pop soft drink mix up, boiling, real cane sugar. And, I say grape soda, that's kind of a strange flavor. It doesn't really taste like grapes, but it tastes like grape. But you always recognize grape soda pop. And this one does kind of have that. It has like a grape soda pop flavor. Well, it is made from grapes. And that's kind of strange though, huh? So I thought these would taste exactly the same, but actually they don't. So, okay. Same price, same parent company, bottle at the same distillery, but I don't know where Harvey's distilled. I think it says the Founders Company. That's one of their Sazerac Shell names. Yeah, the Founders Company, but the Founders Company is not an independent company. It's just part of Sazerac. Okay. Brandy with, no, it doesn't say where it's distilled. Could it be a brandy that they just bought and just bought it and it came down and they bottled it in Kentucky? Yeah, they could have bought it from New York from one of those brandy company. Who they got? Taylor. But did they make brandy? Okay, anyway, California is very common for brandy, of course. But yeah, they don't claim that they make it. They just claim they bottle it. Same thing here. Who's making the Italian brandy? We don't know. We just know they're sending it out. They bottle it in Kentucky. All right. It's amazing that it must be really cheap because they're sending it from Italy. They're processing it in Kentucky and bottling it there. And it's still $8.99. And that includes the shipping from across the ocean. So, woo. You got to imagine this very low grade Italian product. On the other hand, it tastes good. All right. I think they've improved it a lot over the years. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of that grape soda. I'm telling you. They're both sweet, but they don't finish too sweet. They finish kind of dry. So that is true what they're saying on the website, on those sell sheets. When I first tried Hartley, it was grim. Like I gave it a C minus, but that was pushing it. That was maybe being a little generous. Then it seemed a little bit better the next time, but then it was a different one. It wasn't the VS, it was just Hartley brandy. And then the third, I started seeing the V.S.O.P, and it was pretty good, but not too good. And now it's actually good. So I guess Sazerac could have maybe told their supplier, look, we got to do a little bit better because it ain't that good. But it is better now. Or maybe they changed what flavoring they put in it to tweak it to make it palatable. But I know people like it because it wouldn't always be at Winn-Dixie and Rouse's if people hated it. And it's always on the shelf. And if it does sell out and it's empty, it'll be back 5 days later, be packed. You'll get a better price per ounce if you get the big bottle, the big handle glass bottle, assuming that you want it to drink. I could have gotten a cheaper price per ounce with the Hervé and the Hartley, but I just said, $7.50 is enough for me. They have flavored Hartley. Every time I go to Winn-Dixie, they got pineapple Hartley. What is it? Pineapple. There's apple. I think one is called peach. Yeah, peach. I'm not really interested in that. And that's a big thing now in brandy that they all got their flavors. E&J got their flavors. Paul Masson got the flavors. Christian Brothers, they got the flavors. So, and now Hartley. So if that's your thing, if you say, oh no, I gotta try all the apple brandies. If it's not made from apples, now pay attention. It'll say apple and then an almost microscopic print, flavored brandy. Now, do they make apple brandy? Yeah, that's called Applejack. It's made from apples. That's the base, apples. And the main company that does that is Laird and Company in New Jersey, Laird's. And you can go into, not around here, I've never seen it around here, but into the city, meaning New Orleans, and they'll have Laird's Applejack, all different types of it. Starting at the low price might be $25, and then it climbs, and they have some special like $89. I've never tried apple brandy. I would assume it's going to taste apple-ish, like apples, because, and they say they use red apples. So, I mean, considering that these have a grape-like flavor, you would assume the apple brandy will have an apple-like flavor. So, yeah, but just be cautious. If you buy Hartley apple brandy, it's not made from apples. It's just Grape brandy flavored with natural apple flavoring. And I don't know how they get that extract. I don't know what they do with that. I just know that there are big companies that sell flavoring for liquor. And I was reading some of their websites. All right. This one is a little more grapey. I think it's the Hartley. Caught myself. I think it's the Hervé. I think the Hervé has a little bit more of that grapey flavor, and this one has a little bit more of the grape leaf flavor. So I'm gonna say Hervé. Better have the right letter. It does. I got it. I got it. Well, I feel good now because I think at this point I'm gonna get it right every time because these are the two most similar, like I said, from the same people. So I cannot imagine mixing Hartley up, getting it confused with Corbel. Or what's it called? Delacour, which is not common in my town, or it's not sold in my town, but I found it in Jefferson Parish, and it's at all the French Quarter restaurants for happy hour. Delacour brandy. True story. Don't know why. Must have made a deal with Luxco, or their distributor. I'm not going to get it confused with Presidente brandy from Mexico. That ain't happening. Or Fundador from Spain. That ain't happening. Or any other French brandies that I have, like Brandy Saint Louis, Sante Louise, or Reynal, or Saint Remy. No way. Or Ciroc. Ain't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna confuse it with that Ukrainian brandy, Odessa. No way. No way, baby. And that's going to be it. So we're closing it out. So I don't think I have any more new brandy brands or cognac. I'll have to buy some more for next year when I come back around to it. I might try that one I saw at Trader Joe's if they still have any. It was $21. I can't remember the name, but it's a cognac. So probably be all right. All right. Well, y'all take care now and have a good work week. Bye-bye.